we have another amazing win, and it's related to this AP photo of the day from July 2025, this summer. This man, he's 27-year-old. He's a Paraguayan native. His name is Carlos Ramirez Lopez Benitez. So what happened was he was doing what a lot of these folks who are here, who are documented, they might have arrived without documentation, but at some point they might have availed themselves to United States Supreme Court for asylum, for refugee. They may be here for temporary protected status. They may be adjusting status from a visitor. So for whatever reason, these folks have been checking in. They've been giving a number and they've been coming in. And what happened is, around sometime in January, Kristi Noem and Donald Trump adjusted and just by executive order changed a congressional law. The law says if you've been in this country for at least 2 years and you're not a flight risk, we're not going to put you in detention. We're going to just give you a chance to explain what's going on with the 2 years. That's the humane thing. That's our law has been humane. It's only these goombas, racist, xenophobic, like thugs that are trying to just remove people. Essentially, they want to have the rhetoric and the campaign promise match the numbers because there are not that many criminals. They lied. There's 11 million undocumented. The majority of people are either DACA folks or been here. They're not a lot of criminals. So they're criminals, but not to the extent that they were. So that's why they're moved on. Now, the law, the policies, just was from January 21st. January 21st, they said they're going to go in and take people coming into the courts. That just tells you it was never about the criminals. So the reason why this is important, because they knocked down his sister. He was staying with his sister, knocked him down, detained him. A judge says this man had been here for several years, living comfortably, working, a member of society, and he fits squarely into the reason why we had that exception, so you don't detain people. The judge, in his case, ordered him to be released, and that they took him and sent him to Tennessee and say, return him back home, and then release him. He eventually was released. That also goes to the people who say that they don't abide by decisions they do. The judge told him to release this man. He was released. So I was following this. I meant to share this, and this is a great chance. This is a great opportunity to share this case with you because I think last Friday, a D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, 3 judges on a panel agreed with the lower court judge that said that the policy that Kristi Noem tried to do is revoke by executive order, or by you can't do that, is not allowing those people the opportunity to explain why they're in there for 2 years, and instead shipping them in, detaining them and putting them into jail. And we all know, as they're under the detentions is like worse than jail here, and they're just demoralizing, dehumanizing, just cruel, sadistic goombas. And just freaking, I cannot wait till this administration over. And I want every single person who've done this to these people to be under the jail cell. But anyway, I digress. So that's a win. Now, here's the thing. That's not the first court. They've been doing this thing in several different jurisdictions, and several court of appeals have already said the same thing to the Trump administration in many things, that these courthouse arrests are not the thing, because the courthouse arrests were specifically for people who are flight risk. And so it's okay. So the judges have said, if you've identified it's a flight risk and that person might leave, which that happens, okay, that's okay. But you can't presume that people are flight risk. The law is really for folks who just got here, who just been here, before. But if the person's been here for 2 years and they're like, you've seen them, they've been arresting and detaining people like superintendents, folks who like shop owners, people who are nurses. I have a case I'm going to tell you later on about someone from my country who just like, we're supporting the country. They've had folks who are veterans. At the end of the day, it's a racist, sexist, xenophobic. They're just trying to get rid of as many black and brown people. This is Stephen Miller's racist, Jewish Nazi ass doing this. Donald Trump, because he's racist, sexist, xenophobe. Kristi Noem, Marco Rubio, shame on you because you are a freaking product of immigrants, like recent immigrants from Cuba. So that's what that is. It's great news because it's several judges, several courts of appeals have said that this is wrong. These courthouse arrests are not the business, and ruled them unconstitutional, unlawful. Now, it's up to the Supreme Court. If Donald Trump was to appeal these to the Supreme Court would then have to say, okay, it's okay for you to disregard long-standing congressional policy, statute, law passed by Congress that says this is the rule and policy. And you can do this, fine, but you can't do this by executive order. You have to do a process. You got to explain it. You got to create a public record. You got to tell the Republic you're going to do this. You got to have a basis for changing the law this way. And if you don't do that, you can't. And I've said this before in my county. Follow me on JJ Legal. One of the things I say the Trump administration do, we know now their modus operandi. It tracks with with Project 2025, which Donald Trump was saying he wasn't part of, but we already seen a memo that says that actually he's been a part of it the entire time. We've seen leaks, he's been a part of it. But one of the Project 2025's thing was to remove every single people from every single law that protects people of color here, and do every single thing, and find laws in the past that allow you to remove as many people who are black and brown from here and get them out of the country really fast, and any law or any ways that you can avoid the proper process, because usually everything requires a process, and the process takes time. They don't want to take the process, they don't have the time, because if they did it, the ultimate results would be like, you can't do this, you have no basis for doing it, you cannot do these things on racism, you can't do this thing on ideology, you can't do these things. And I know people would tell me, yeah, you say that they can't do it, but they don't follow law. But I'm here to tell you, yes, they do. They don't initially do, they lie to the judges, they repeal, they do all sorts of stuff, but ultimately when they run out of options, they release funds. When they run out of options, they unlock grants, they return websites, they bring somebody back to the country, they facilitate someone to return, they allow, judgments, they pay for stuff. These sort of things, and they release people from detention often. They do this all the time. I'm JJ Legal. I've been watching these dockets since January 2025. So it's frustrating, and because they put up a fight, but you should know that every single thing they're doing, because they don't have a process, that's not going to get pulled back. The only thing about it is why Doge is gone. Doge was a freaking stupid rouge. But what you should know too, beyond Doge, is that a lot of these people who's been hurt, there's going to be class action lawsuits. There's going to be lawyers and law firms making a lot of money, because they're going to just say, were you rounded up by ICE? Were you detained unlawfully? Were you shackled and hurt? Did you spend time in detention? Well, we're filing a lawsuit. You're part of a class action. So all these people who've been harassed, I know that doesn't help you, but you should at least be comforted knowing that a lot of them are going to get, not necessarily some sort of accountability, they'll get some sort of redress for their problems. And hopefully, if all goes well, we can actually remove them. Now, you want to support me, this is my No Human is Legal shirt. This might be backwards when you're looking at this. Support me, and No Human is Illegal. Get it at jjlegal.com. It's really nice, plush. It has pockets. And I also have scripts that you can tell people if you see someone being unlawfully detained or brutalized for free at jjlegal.com. I have Know Your Rights cards that you can use in case you're at the courthouse, in case how to get in those class action suits, all that stuff for free at jjlegal.com. When you sign up, you join my newsletter, and twice a week, this is my new plan, twice a week, I'll give you the updates on the case in case you missed it, in case you don't see me. And I also am building this newsletter because who knows what the topic that I do is very controversial. I'm not on Zinks it. You just never know. So I'm building a newsletter in order to get you. So you get those rights cards, you get those scripts for free if you sign up for my newsletter. Now you want to purchase, get something in exchange, I have my case trackers that are on sale. I'm going to do a review. I'm going to do a video on my case tracker. $3.98. It used to be $7.98, but essentially it's just links to the cases so you can track it yourself. And then it also has all the goodies. I'm going to share the video. And then also half off for the holiday season of my documents, my legal documents. So we're going to go through the legal documents. I'm going to have a couple of videos when I go through all the different legal documents so you can see what you're going to get, and see what's in them. And what else? Yeah, as I said, so it's my merch, my case tracker, my Know Your Rights card, my scripts, the templates, and that's it. And you can support me here by just following along, share this video, let other people know that about this account, so other people who are interested. That's what I do here. I just share the updates all the time, and I try to round them up and do weeklies. It's been hard. The last video I did was just a month because, you know what I mean, life be lifing. Anyway, so that was a good update. I'm really happy to share that. And shout out to Ashley Renee from Ash Speaks on Legality. Ash Speaks on Substack. She's at Ash411 on Threads, because that's my go-to, because these things get overwhelming, but she's on top of it. And I saw this on her feed, and so that's what I'm sharing with you. That's great. So I have several updates for you today. So that's down. I have like 1, 2, detention, 2 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more updates. I'm gonna do 3 more and take a break and do the rest of them afternoon. All right, JJ Legal, each one teach one. Share this video.